Hey everyone! We're going to talk about our framework with my third grade handwriting, which I tried to do backwards, and the contentions that I think would be really great underneath them. So, our framework, or our big umbrella, is going to be business model fails our justice system. We talked about that in the last video. Our three contentions are going to be horrible conditions, recidivism, and the monopoly. Those three contentions are supported by the evidence that you have in your foundation briefs. But I want to kind of talk about them generally, and then you can fill in the evidence. Remember how we structure our contentions and our paragraphs? If you need a review on that, let me know. But for right now, let's start with horrible conditions. So, there's a couple things and a couple of studies out there that show that private for-profit prisons provide horrible conditions for inmates. So that would be the first thing for you to prove is pull out those studies, pull out the evidence that says these are horrible conditions. Next, under that same contention, you can show that there's really poor management. They are not doing a great job of facilitating the people in the prison in order to really run a good prison. So poor management, poor conditions. Now, how does that relate to our business model? Well, the business doesn't care about the people, they care about the money they're making, right? So the business model, our private prisons, fail the justice system because they create these horrible conditions. Okay. So that's how you connect that first contention. Now we're going to go to our second contention. Recidivism. First of all, what does that mean? It's a really hard word to pronounce. And if you look on, page 30, where does it start? 30 something. I lied, it goes all the way back. Okay, so if you look at page 25, that's the first place where they mention recidivism. Say that at least 100 times before you actually give your speech, please. Recidivism means that a prisoner who goes into the system is likely to commit another crime and end up back in jail or back in prison. Also, side note, there is a difference between jail and prison. If you don't watch Orange is the New Black, you would know, or you wouldn't know the difference. But if you do watch Orange is the New Black, you would know that the difference is jail is short-term, prison is long-term. If you want more information on that, pause the video, go look it up. Prison versus jail. For this topic, we're only talking about prison. Okay. So, part of the reason, we're back to our second contention, recidivism, part of the reason that there is an issue in private prisons with recidivism is that there is no focus on rehabilitation services. Okay, so the big point under recidivism is that a private prison does not have a solid focus on rehabilitation services. Why? They're a business model. They want the inmates to come back. Why do they want the inmates to come back? Because they are paid for however many inmates are in the prison. Okay. Third, there's a monopoly on the market right now for private prisons. If you don't know why a monopoly is bad, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. But the first thing that you need to prove, so under monopoly, there's a monopoly on the market now is your third contention. And you're going to have 3 sub-points under that. The first is that monopolies are bad. You need to prove and pull up evidence from someone smarter than you that says monopolies are bad. And they are, for a lot of reasons, and you should go look it up and learn that. The biggest reason why monopolies are bad is because they can get away with things because there's no competition or regulations on what they're doing. But you need to find someone smarter than me that says that. Subpoint B, the reliance on private prisons is real. There's evidence in your foundation briefs that shows our justice system now is relying on this one company that's running the for-profit prisons. So subpoint A, monopolies are bad. Subpoint B, we are relying on this monopoly. Subpoint C, this particular company is a problem and is causing problems and is creating an unjust system for our inmates. Why does that go back to our umbrella? Well, the business model, which has created a monopoly on the market, is failing our inmates. Okay? Great. This is a tough one. Listen to it twice and then email me with any questions.